So, the reason I called it a segue is that language matters, and so if you the same CV that you might submit for a corporate sector job might just not resonate for a recruiter in the field, in the development field. So learning your language, the examples here are useful. If you're used to concepts like sales and clients and revenues, within development, those are referred to as program development and stakeholders and funding. There's an emphasis on not talking about the money specifically and talking about the process and the outcomes. Translate your resume, so think about the keywords. Again, if you have a tight focus on organizations, then using the keywords they use on their website makes probably a lot of sense. Speak directly to your audience, understand who you're speaking to. If you're speaking to a recruiter versus speaking to a technical person, you might say different things. And then lastly, and probably most challenging, is the acronyms and the vernacular. Like any industry, we have a lot. And in countries that are multilingual, they have multiple acronyms for the same institution, so that's not easy, but it's definitely worth doing. And again, we have on DevX, we do have quite a lot of how-tos and career advice as well. So I'll sort of jump through this one in the interest of time. Why and how to learn the language. Basically, a recruiter spends about 2 or 3 seconds looking at your CV. So pick keywords that are relevant to them. You see in our slides, we've bolded the words we want you to see. You should consider doing the same in your CV. So if your actual strength is you want to be a healthcare systems person, then bold it in your CV. Every chance that when you are talking about what you want, you can emphasize it, and when you talk about what you've done, you should emphasize it, and that those things do stand out. And then generally demonstrating an understanding of the industry and your organizational experience, like what companies you've worked at, matter as much as what you actually did. And then how you do that, obviously, by reading job descriptions on the site. Like I said, I think we have some 2,500 jobs posted today on our job board at DevX. Go and look at some of the ones that are interesting to you. Learn the language as to what they do. Go to the websites of those companies, see what they do, and you'll be fairly well tooled. And then we also suggest looking at industry journals and news publications. There are lots of publications. The Economist is something that if you want to get in the industry, you should certainly look at. We have both a daily and a weekly newsletter, both of which are free. One is called the Development Newswire, and the other one's called the GDB. And I do recommend, basically, if you are reading those 2 publications, you will be very conversant on development issues.